So, I keep learning more about what's going on in Britain, and it's pretty horrifying. I mean, I'm sitting here listening to, like, Stefan Molyneux and Tommy Robinson have a conversation about all the rape gangs and stuff, and in the grooming gangs in Britain and stuff, and, you know, they're talking about it, and their estimation is basically that probably 1 million children have been raped in Britain because of these people, as these Muslims. And, you know, it's coming to the point where we're hitting this really, really serious crossroads. You know, like, it makes me physically uncomfortable to see Muslim people around because of what I know about their religion, because of how they treat their women, because of the way that they treat foreigners, the slaughtering and the murdering and the jihadis and just everything. Like, you can try to blame the US for all the issues in the Middle East, but when you get down to the fundamentals of it, it's like, look at Japan. Like, look at Japan. Like, Japan was imperialistic and asshole-ish and all this crap. We bombed the hell out of them. And you know what they didn't do? They didn't keep terrorizing us. They were like, we got fucking beat. What the fuck did these people have that we didn't? We need to do that. And they became allies with us. We helped them rebuild. And we taught them how to live in a Western way. Which, it's a mixed sort of, I think, culture now. But the whole point is that the Japanese culture was highly masculine, but they didn't have this cancerous ideology behind them, okay? And that's what Islam is. And so, yeah, it makes me physically uncomfortable to see people dressed in Muslim garb and talking about wanting to the spread of Islam and stuff like that. It's like, I don't want my daughters raped. You know, I grew up in a safe environment. I grew up in a safe hometown. I remember in high school being out at 10 o'clock at night, downtown, hanging out with my friends. You know, just messing around, walking around, like, you know, you'd see the police go by periodically because, you know, it's a safe town. You know, I had cell phones and everything's well lit, and, you know, we didn't think about, you know, the idea of some Muslim guys coming around in a gang to pull us into a car and steal us off and you know, groom us to be raped repeatedly. Never would have fucking happened. Ever. And that's the reality in fucking Britain right now, all over the place. Because they've let so many goddamn extremists in there. And, you know, it's like, the government's not concerned about millions of little girls and boys being raped and tortured and murdered. Like, they're not worried about these people coming in and harming their citizens. They're not worried about little girls losing their ability to reproduce because they've been raped so many goddamn times by so many men. I mean, it's horrifying. And all the STDs that come along with it. I mean, these girls are being tortured for being white, for not being Muslim. I mean, that's the whole mentality. The whole mentality is that they are the other. They are not the good, pious little Muslim girl who covers herself to her eyes, just completely can't even see her eyes. That's what a good little Muslim girl looks like. And if you're not that, then you're Western trash, and you deserve everything that those men do to those little girls. 12-year-olds. I mean, come on. How do you fucking take a 12-year-old and go... I mean, in our society, it's like if we have laws. We have laws in our society about consent age, and it's not 12. It's like, well, maybe in some states in the South it might be 12, I don't know. But, like, even by American standards, that's pretty fucking backwards. And even then, we don't allow the rape of those little girls. You know what I mean? Like, most states, the consent age is at least 16, if not 18. Most states, it's just like, you know what? She's under the age of 18, that's fucking jailbait. I'm not touching that. That's the logical thing that goes through most men's minds in the United States is, damn, she's stacked. But she's under 18. I'm not touching that. No, thank you. Meanwhile, these Muslim animals, they take 12-year-old girls and rape them repeatedly without any sort of compassion. And it's just like, why are you letting these animals into your country? Why? I mean, you are seriously at this crossroads where I would not be surprised if the average citizen started getting really, really mad and you started seeing literally wars start to break out in your streets because the government won't fucking do their job and keep out the extremists and stop these animals from raping their little girls. You know? Britain and the United States has a relationship, you know? It's our mother country. Like, when we see this shit happen, we are fucking angry. It makes me want to cry because, you know, if our mother country lets that happen, well, you know, like, that's the last, I mean, not the last outpost, but I mean, it's our closest ally. I don't know, like, growing up in an American school where we were taught about the allyship between, you know, the Brits and the English. Like, it's an emotional thing for me to see this fucking happen in a country where, you know, my founding fathers came from, you know. That's what they were struggling against. They were struggling against the tyranny of King George in England at the time. But King George would not have fucking allowed that. You know what I mean? Like, goddamn, King George would have kicked those fucking assholes out of there. King George wanted his own power, you know? Like, he was tyrannical, it was governmental shit, but he wanted his own power. These assholes, they are allowing the destruction and the rape, murder, and just pillaging. It's like allowing a barbarian horde into your fucking country. Do you just willingly? And you're just like, okay, have free reign of our girls, have free reign of our resources. Here, let's give you some welfare. Because we're too fucking white. Because we hate ourselves. So yeah, come in, come kill us, come rape us, come destroy us. It is so disturbing to see the mother country like that. Do you get that? It is really disturbing. And mind you, I'm ethnically German for the most part, like, so I don't have, like, any sort of real strong blood ties to Britain. It's all very ideological, but it's, at the same time, it's like, this is where those ideas came from. This is why we exist here in the United States. That's why we're this shining outpost of freedom that, you know, everybody tries to shit upon, but at the same time, we still have our Constitution. You know, and I don't know if you realize, but that is a massive accomplishment. Even in its twisted form, as it is a massive accomplishment to have our Constitution in the form that it is, you know, still guaranteeing us rights from the government, where we still have at least, you know, some way of trying to fight against our government and stuff like that. In Britain, you know, fucking Count Dankula who taught his little pug to do a Nazi salute to annoy his girlfriend. And, like, you look at the guy and you're like, this is not a guy who wants to hurt anybody. He's sitting there giggling about it, and he's just like, I can't, it was a fucking joke. And he's going to prison for that. In Britain. It's disgusting. And then, you know, of course, Lauren Southern, who's like this, you know, beautiful white woman, you know, who is strong, intelligent, independent, works for herself, you know, basically the epitome of what a feminist would describe a woman, essentially. You know, strong, independent, I don't need a man. As far as I know, she's not married. Sort of thing, and, you know, she's not allowed into that country. Into the country where they're allowing little girls to be raped on a daily fucking basis because they're too fucking goddamn lazy to get off their goddamn asses and actually do something about it. It's disgusting. As far as I'm concerned, those police stations need to just be wiped off the face of the planet, because they're not doing you people any good. You need to, like, have a revolt against your government at this point. Like, that's how fucking bad it is. Like, from an outside perspective, anybody listening to this from the UK, like, seriously, how do you allow this to happen? How do you not revolt against your government at this point? Like, the US government has done really shitty things, and it's done really shitty things to our own people. We don't allow this. And I mean, we've allowed, like, forced sterilizations and shit like that, like, of you know, of minorities generally, women who've had too many children. Those sorts of things are horrifying. But they're not as horrifying as allowing a 12-year-old girl to be raped by 50 men in one night. Not as horrifying as that. A woman losing her fertility because a doctor's like, you have 4 kids and you can't take care of them. I'm just gonna fix this problem while I'm in here. That's one thing. That's the type of shit that happens in the United States, where we're just like, well, we know better than you. We're just gonna make your decisions for you. And then we were like, oh shit, we probably shouldn't do that. Okay, let's give everybody rights. And like, we felt guilty about it. And, you know, but it's coming to the point where we're seeing what's going on in Britain right now, and the rest of Europe, and we're seeing all the rapes and the murders, and you know, Sweden became the rape capital of Europe for a while, and, you know, like, I don't even know if that's true, because everywhere fucking else is an absolute fucking disastrous mess because of all of the Muslim extremists and all these fucking goddamn animals that they're letting into the country to rape, pillage, and murder their children. They are killing your future. And you just don't give a fucking shit. Your government doesn't give a fucking shit. I almost wish that the United States could just, like, fucking invade the UK just to get rid of all these Muslim fuckers. I really wish we could do that. I know that would not be a good thing. But, like, goddamn. Like, I honestly wish I could just be some massive power in the world that could just, like, strike all of these motherfuckers dead, because the things that they do to small children is so horrifying. You know, these are babies. These are kids who, you know, in our society, like, I didn't know shit at 12. The idea of sex was scary. I didn't lose my virginity till I was 21. Like, that's the life I've led. That's a good, stable life. You know? Where would I be now if I had lost my fertility at 12-year-old? You know, because I'd been raped so many times. And been infected with so many STDs. and been forced to have abortions, where would I be? Would I be here in front of a computer? Would I be here in a safe home with a man that I really love? Or would I be dead somewhere, lying in a ditch? I mean, your government's allowing this. I'm angry. I am so angry for you. And I can't believe that in Western culture that this has been allowed. I mean, the Romans, they did a lot to civilize, the barbarous regions of England, or of Europe, and it took a long time of fighting and whatnot, and you gotta remember, Europe has been attacked time and time again by these people, and they've been time and time attacked by different groups of people. You have to say that this has to stop. You have to hold your government accountable. I don't care if you riot in the streets at this fucking point. At this point, your government has lost any authority over you people because they won't protect you. It's fucking disgusting.